Hey, you guys! It's your favorite little keto goofball diamond, and today marks 2,253 days since I first started keto, so that's well over 6 years ago. Um, haven't done a video in a little while. Got some good reasons, but for those of you who are new here, I use keto to lose 155 pounds. Been on and off struggling, but have a lot of stuff going on in my life, which is why I'm doing this video, and we're going to talk all about it. First, there's some reasons I haven't done a video. Quite a few, in fact. It's just, So I want to start off by saying that there are caveats to everything. So while most of the comments I get on my channel are extremely loving and sweet and kind, you get those one or two stragglers and you just don't even know why they make comments, but they feel the need to. So anyway, I'm going to put this out there so people understand. Number one, while I'm in good spirits, some of what I'm going to say is going to sound like complaining because it's life, that's what happens. I tell everybody everything, whether it be amazingly wonderful or down in the dumps bad. I always have. You can go back and watch all of my videos. When things are really, really good, you know about it. When things are really, really bad, I tend to tell you about it. But there are those folks that'll get on here and say, there are people with far worse lives than yours. Well, obviously, there's somebody every single day going through absolute hell on earth. And sometimes it's large amounts of people. But I can only tell one woman's story, one woman's life story, because this is the only story I've got and the only one I really know. And this is my channel. So like I said, vast majority of the comments are good. And then you talk about financial struggles and somebody's got to say, well, you're cyber bumming. No, I'm not. Because when I bought my Mini Cooper and I told people all about it, I wasn't cyber giving, so I'm not cyber bumming when I'm telling them about financial struggles. And then there's other things. Of course, there's a lot. Like I said, a lot going on. We've had pet issues lately, which I'm going to start with. So a couple weeks back, I showed you guys all my son's beautiful little husky puppy. Sweet, beautiful little doggy. Oh, and so cuddly. He would jump up in your arms and he would just lay there and want to be pet and loved. He was so sweet. And my son had me babysitting. He was very particular over this dog. If they went to the zoo, which they did, and they had me babysit, okay? They brought the puppy's litter box over, which I was floored that the puppy would use the litter box. There was another time they went to a concert. I babysit the puppy, okay? So I kind of really like this little dog. In fact, if there was ever a dog on the planet that I was going to whole ass steal, it would have been that one. And I don't even want no more pets. You need to understand. I don't want no more. Not even kind of. Hell, some of the ones lingering around here, I don't want them. But, you love them and whatever. But the little doggy got sick, and they paid $600 for this puppy. Just so you know. They gave a lot of money for it. And then it got sick, so they had to take it to the vet, which was about another $600 plus medication. The puppy somehow had gotten parvo, which, I always heard that was like a wildfire, basically spread from one dog to the next, one dog to the next. And he was around Jake. He was around Shiva. He was around all these puppies, dogs. And then, of course, they have an older dog, too, named Max. So we're kind of all waiting for the shoe to drop. And at the same time, the puppy was getting medication and had seen the vet and was going back to the vet the next morning too. He passed away in the middle of the night, that night. And that was heartbreaking, okay? It really, really was. And I didn't want to get on here and be a Debbie Downer when I didn't actually have anything positive to say about anything at all. I couldn't really even be positive about my keto journey, my life's journey in any way. So I was like, you know what, we'll just hold off. And Jake has been increasingly getting worse, and he's making a lot of racket. Now, earlier in the day, he's a lot better. The later in the evening it gets, the more and more noise he makes. And some of the noises, I think literally he's just telling me it's not going to be long. Give me some affection, give me some attention, and I've been giving him lots. Like last night, I washed his face down, gave him a lot of loves and hugs and pats, and he's 11. He's a large lab. He has a harder time getting up and down with his back legs. Now, I know a lot of people will be like talking about putting down. Now, to each their own. Whatever you do, you do. I'm not judging. I'm simply saying, for me, for one, that would be financially difficult, extremely at the moment. But for two, we don't bump off old people when they start hurting. And let's face it, most of us are old people and we hurt. We don't bump them off. If it comes to a point where he won't eat and stuff, we might talk about it. But as far as the getting up and downs, we gonna have to lift and hoist. I mean, I come from a long line of rednecks. We just gonna have to rig up a doggy jack and some wheels and, build him a ramp. But he's been very vocal, very, very vocal. And sometimes, this time of year too, but sometimes it's whimpering. And sometimes it's just like this little, such a big dog, such a baby bark. But just, to get my attention. He doesn't want to go out. He can just come in. He's got food. He just wants love, or pain medicine, which he can't have it so often. So there's that. And then Shiva, she's fine. Let me lead with that because Zach tore into me the other day because I told him in the wrong way. She's fine. Got ran over by a car. Aaron was pulling in and she shot under his back tire and he rolled over her back end. When he was crying, she was hollering. We went out there. She was dragging her back and I was like, oh God, oh no, come on, really? But after a few minutes, she stood up. She was tender and sensitive for a few days, but walked around, And of course, my dad said, he had, with one tire, the back tire, that had the less weight on it. And it does happen. Or my dad's Chihuahua, full-blooded Chihuahua, was ran over by the mailman. She had some rib issues for a few days, but she was fine. She's still fine. I don't get it. Don't know how that happens. But it does, on occasion, rarely, work luck out. But of course, Shiva being a big dog, and she's going to be a bigger dog. She's Great Pyrenees, a part Great Pyrenees, and she's already taller than Jake. Being hit on the ass end by a car, I imagine that the things Jake's going through is going to be even worse for her when she gets older, because y'all know how that works. The older you get, the more those things that you did in your past or that happened to you in your youth come back to haunt you. So I'm like, this is long term, not going to be good. But, those are the pet struggles and issues right now. And with Jake being very vocal, trying to film is difficult. And he's the sweetest thing, too, and the most pitiful, beautiful thing. I love him so much. And I know, where this is headed, even though I keep trying to patch him back up. I'm basically duct taping him with pills, potions, and stuff like that, basically. Looking up everything that takes off fluids and, pain. And it's been a little trying at the moment. And then, of course, we're going to talk financial struggles. Like I said, I tell you guys, when great things happen, I'm not asking for anything. If I wanted to ask for anything, I could tell people, okay, well, I'll teach you all about keto for X amount of money if you just email me or call me or whatever. I don't do that because I want keto to be free. It's very, very important to me, because when I started keto, if I could not find the information for free, I would be dead. That's it. Because I had no money and I was in such poor health, I would have died. That's it. So that's important to me. I want it to always be free, and or all the information to be free as far as I'm concerned. So I help people anytime they email me. I love doing it because I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and it's my little way of giving back to the world. It's a very small thing, but anything I can do to help somebody, I like doing it. It's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the heart. It's good for the world in general. If you can help one person and they can smile at another person and they can help one person, we can carry that on. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about the struggles that I've been going through. Now, I do see lights at the end of the tunnel. I am mostly in very good spirits about certain things. Like today was a very good day. I woke up this morning and I had sold on eBay a blue bottle made in Italy, like a large one that's got zodiac signs all around it, for $105. I paid $1 for that. So that is a great thing, you know. I also sold a wallet for $8 that I paid $2 for. So that's not as good. If I could do that every day, the struggle would be pretty much over. But it's kind of difficult to find something you can pay $1 for and sell it for $100. It's kind of difficult to sell it immediately. I think I've had that for about a month and a half. So it's a slow going process. I'm learning as I go. And this is where we're making our money at the moment. And flea markets too, but they haven't been good because when the economy's bad, people don't have money to spend on things unless it's something they really, really need. Coming across something that's in good condition, that's cheap, that they really, really need is difficult. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at with that. I do have good spirits about it. I do see it picking up. I do see it going well over the long haul, but the struggle immediately is difficult. So, the Mini Cooper. That's our biggest bill at the moment. His car's paid for. That old van was paid straight out for. But the Mini Cooper has been the struggle right now, is trying to get the money to pay the car payment. Well, I got to 26 days behind, and I was like, I don't even see where the money's going to come from for the payment, and then I'll owe another payment. So I talked to my children. Corey's like, we really don't need it, and we don't really make that much money. And that's absolutely true. But my son, who is doing pretty well, he has a job. His wife has 3 kids at home. So they need 2 cars and they only have 1. He has decided he wants to try it for a few months and see if he can do it and it's financially feasible for him. So they're going to take possession of that today and try it for a few months, of course with insurance and everything. And that gets a big bill off of us, gives us a few months of him trying it out to see if he can do it long term or if he wants us to take it back, and maybe we'll be in a better place in that moment. And again, we do have a good running car. The AC is a little hinky, but it's getting cooler, so that's a little bit good. We do have that old van. Hopefully we don't never have to drive that long term for a long time for a lot of places, because the gas. But you know, we got the biggest bill off of us for the moment, and maybe long enough that we can get stabilized. So that's the bulk of the reason I haven't done a video also, because there was nothing really good to say about keto. It's not that keto's not great. That's wonderful. It's fantastic. It works. A treat if you do it properly. But I had not been doing it properly, kind of on and off, or very dirty, lazy keto, because it's fast, convenient, and what I could afford. And then here lately, I haven't been able to afford that either. We're talking the lowest possible, cheapest meals for me and my husband together, like macaroni and mashed potatoes, because you can buy a big box of mashed potatoes. That's 4 or 5 meals for $1.50. 2 or 3 boxes of macaroni. That's 2 or 3 meals. You know, I'm talking the cheapest of the cheap, which is all carb, all starch, not good for you, not keto. One thing I'm most terrified of is bridging that 200-pound mark, because I struggled so hard. Well, I did so well early on, but taking weight off is slower than putting it on, especially when you still have fat cells that are primed to gain weight. And a lot of it's fluid, but it's not all going to be fluid, obviously, even though, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm trying not to do sugars at all, but it's still carb, you know, it's still what it is. And so at the moment, I'm not even keto, and I have a keto channel. So I'm trying to I need to do a video. I need to be open, honest, and upfront about it. But at the same time, I've got nothing positive to offer at the moment. You know, this is a low area. I've had many throughout the last 44 years, but I've also had many high areas, and I know that this too shall pass. Like they say, this too shall pass. It just might pass like a kidney stone. It's where we're sitting at the moment. And, you know, when I get that $105 from selling that bottle, which it won't be $105, it'll be probably about $90, after they do their fees and taxes and all that stuff, and I have to ship it out and all that. But that's still $90. You know, I'll be able to pay a small bill, and I'll be able to, you know, buy some groceries. But it'll be a few days worth of groceries because of the economy and how high everything is. So the struggle is real, you know. It takes 2 or 3 days for that to process. That's why. But I do have a cautionary tale, and again, I'm trying to keep all the sugars out of it. Can't really afford extra sugars anyway. I do have some coffee and some stevia, so that's good. I love that. It tastes so good. But I'm trying to keep it down low. Like, for breakfast, I found this pack of sausages that has these great big long links in it. They were like $4, and you can cut one up for a meal, so that keeps me keto in the morning. And then, we do what we got to do at dinner time. But I try to keep the sugars out of it, try to keep it as low cost and effective as possible. But we have to eat together. We have to both eat, and a steak is still expensive. A pack of hamburger is still more expensive than macaroni and mashed potatoes. So that's just kind of how it is right now. And I know that I am not the only one going through financial struggles or mental struggles or emotional struggles or physical struggles or absolute hell of losing somebody you love. I know that. But I still want to be on here, and I still want to talk to you guys. And putting it off is not helping me or anybody else, because I still can help you with your keto journey if you're in the place where you can do it. And I feel bad now because my daughter brings it up to me often. Now, in all fairness, there was a caveat to that too. I was like, she's like, Mom, I can't do keto. I can't afford it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, she's like, see, now you can't afford it. And she doesn't like it. Boy, she seen me eat mashed potatoes and macaroni the other night. She's like, Mom, that's not good for you. You're going to get sick. I was like, well, you're not doing it either. She's like, yeah, but you're going to get sick again. I was like, okay. And I understand where she's coming from. I do. And she's like, but see, it's not cheap. And, meats are not always cheap. And stuff like that's not always cheap. It's absolutely true. But when I was telling her, yes, you can, I had that good job, and I could have ensured she could. And she's like, but I didn't want to rely on you. I don't care. Rely on me. If I've got it, I'll give it. I'm happy to help her not be sick. So, at the time, I do feel a little bad about it because, no, she couldn't afford it, but I was there to assist with the affording. You know what I mean? So I feel bad, but at the same time, I had it in the refrigerator. You eat it. That's fine, baby. Go in there. If there's a steak, if there's some beef, if there's something in there you can cook up for yourself, do it. I got salad stuff. Go ahead. Cook it. Make it. Chop it up. I don't care. So... Again, like I said, I felt bad because it's kind of like an excuse, but at the same time, I do get it a little bit better at the moment. But I would have helped her. So, I don't feel all the way bad because I was offering to, we got this, but it's been a struggle. The whole thing with life right this minute has been kind of an up and down struggle. There's been good things, good moments, happy, joyous moments, lots of them. Every time I see one of my grandbabies smile, that's good. The fact that my son is excited about getting my Mini Cooper is great. I'm a little sad, too, to see it go. But at the same time, I can't afford it. And if we do have an extra $400 a month and they can't afford it, we could put it into the old Dodge and make that run for longer, for better, or save it up to buy another vehicle or house. I want to get this eBay thing rolling, make hundreds of $1,000s a year. Sounds good anyway. And buy a house straight out. Just like a nice one out in the woods somewhere. Well, actually, if we're out in the woods somewhere, I'd like to rip this one down and put something here. I don't even care if it's another single wide, as long as it's just not holy or have a tree grow through the wall. Y'all, Aaron was standing over there cooking the other day, and I was standing there talking to him. And I realized there's like a leaf beside his head. I kind of look around him, and through the door frame, a little tree stem had grown in the back door. It's like, is that a tree? And Aaron looked and he goes, uh-huh. So that we went out there and chopped it down. Well, he went out there and chopped it down, and I cut the little piece out. It's like, dude, a whole ass tree was trying to grow inside my house. But it was kind of also entertaining. Yeah, I've got no real positive stuff at the moment as far as my keto journey to discuss, but also I do have a ton of knowledge. And like my dad was telling me the other day, and this is a cautionary tale and another good reason not to add sugars, even if you can't do keto at the moment, or as many carbs as you possibly can. Limit those as much as you possibly can. But I can't. I know macaroni and mashed potatoes are all carb and all starch, but I'm not adding like any kind of cakes or cookies or candies or anything onto that. Because, and this is again a cautionary tale, but my dad was telling me the other day, a buddy of his said he just restored this really vintage car, really old car, and my dad has restored a '62 Impala numerous times. He's on like number 4 now, and he's restoring it again. He's been restoring it again for like 6 years, but he's doing it right this time. Certain carburetors, this, that, and the other, the way he actually wants it, tires, rims, all that good stuff. Everything the way he wants it, you know what I mean? So he's restored it kind of the first time was amazingly. The second time was kind of like, a little bit. Third time was, a little bit. Now he's like really doing it the way he has always desired it to be. So it's a slow going process. Big old car. I drove it for years. But, it had this thing. You'd be driving down the road, somebody just cut off, you just kick the dash real hard, and crank back up. I don't know, it cranked while you were driving. It had its little quirks. Everything he has a combination to it. You just got to know the combination. Usually it's kicking it. But the cautionary tale. One of his buddies just finished restoring a very old vintage car, a very nice one. Probably thinking $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in that car to make it look the way it did. And then he went to a festival and ate a bunch of sugar and stuff, a bunch of cakes, pies, different things, and of course I'm sure it was nothing more than he could physically hold, so it couldn't have been an extreme amount, but his sugar level spiked and he lost most of his eyesight, like kind of all in one day. And now he might not ever get to drive that car he just put all that money into. So a cautionary tale to be sure, but a very terrifying, don't eat all that crap, even if you can't be keto at the moment. Leave the little Debbie cakes out of it, leave the pies, the cookies, the candies, all out of it. Even if you can't afford to do no better than mashed potatoes, macaronis, and beans, leave the other stuff out. Try to, don't, just because you have to eat a mashed potato bowl, don't mean you need a Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean to get a big old glass of sweet iced tea. That's not good for you. And all right, so I think I've told this story before, but a while back they did a study on these runners, these athletes, and they put them all in ketosis for several weeks, and then they gave them like a sugar drink. It was a high sugar drink though. It wasn't just like a Mountain Dew or something, but it was loaded with sweetener or sugar, and they drank it. They tested them afterwards, like fully tested them, and it damaged their blood vessels, or their vein. It damaged something anyway. But anyway, so even being keto for a long time, jumping off of it, even if you're going to have a piece of birthday cake, have that piece. Don't eat the cake. You know what I mean? If you're going to have a couple cookies, have the couple cookies. Don't eat that bag. You will damage your body, even though you have been keto for a while. So we have to be careful. We have to be cautious. And again, it doesn't matter how much weight you lose on any diet out there. It doesn't matter if you just slowed down your eating and started jogging every day. Doesn't matter if you did Weight Watchers. Doesn't matter if you even had surgeries. If you start eating the old way, you're going to regain your weight. And it's going to happen faster. You're going to even put on extra. That's just how this works, unfortunately, with every single diet out there. So I have to be careful. And again, I'm so scared of that 200-pound mark. I don't want to go back that way. And I'm too damn close. Before I stopped eating keto, even the dirty lazy keto, I was staying at 186. And at my lowest, I was 156. So that was a 30-pound spread right there already. And that 186 is too damn close to 200. So I'm trying to be very, very careful. I'm trying not to eat a lot of calories. I'm trying not to eat any kind of junk, not adding any kind of sugar. So I'm trying to be careful, trying to be cautious. But that might be reality. Now, hopefully not, and not for long anyway. Things are picking up. Things are getting better. The more it cools off, some of the stuff I got on there is starting to really be looked at, viewed, and bought. Like, you're not going to sell that many coffee cups in the summertime. When I first started this, for some reason, I thought coffee cups are going to be an amazing seller. And I bought way too damn many of them. I bought them cheap, but I still got a ton. Like tons and tons, But now coffee cups are starting to be looked at as it cools down. It's becoming fall. And a lot of people are, okay, I need a new coffee cup, or I need a set of coffee cups. So that's good. And anytime you're not as miserable, like hot, you might buy a little more. You might buy a little something like a scarf or something. I don't have any scarves, but that's not the point. Summertime, definitely not the best time to buy candle holders. I love beautiful candle holders, and if I could get them for 50 cents to $1, I got them, especially like fairy lamps and candle lamps and all that. I've got a beautiful milk sandwich glass, light blue one on eBay now, and I've got another amber one that I just got. I just sold one and came across another one for $1. Well, no, $3. I paid $3 for the second one, but it's not bad because they sell for about 20, as long as you don't have to hold on to them for too long. So that's another thing. You got to keep it moving. If you're going to buy, you got to keep selling. So when we first started and I started listening to other people, I realized that was a huge mistake. Buying too much that you can't get rid of too quickly, and then not having the space to store it. So that's a thing, And I've talked to a lot of these resellers who have buildings, big trucks, outbuildings, storage units, warehouses full of stuff they can't sell. That would be destiny. I guess they're about ready to take over the car. And again, I'm going to be sad, but at the same time, I can't afford it right now. So hopefully, I'm fine with it. If my son needs a car and he can continue making the payments, if he wants to keep it until it's paid for and we sign it over to him completely, that's perfectly fine. But again, if you can't. So I need to answer her text message. But that's how my life has been going lately. I have worries, I have fears, I'm a little bit anxious, but I'm trying to give it over to God and just hope for the best and trust God, because that's where it goes. And if you don't believe, that's okay. I'm not making you, I'm telling you my life story. I'm not telling you what your life story should be, because I hope you're doing better than I am. A lot. And I know that there's some people that are doing way worse. And again, it's not that I'm not sympathetic. I just can't tell their story. I can only tell mine. And that's mine. So right now, I'm just trying not to be 200 pounds, trying to eat, and trying to learn how to make money. By the way, for anybody who is curious, I'm still putting in for jobs. And if you call these places, like, you have to do it online. I did do it online. Okay, well, I'm sure somebody will call you. And nobody calls you. And that's just how it's been going. The ankle, the broken ankle, or the broken little crack bone, better, has days, especially, eating macaroni and mashed potatoes. That causes inflammation. So it tends to go straight there and says, ow. And my ass is definitely fat and bloated. My thighs. Where my fluid likes to go. And I'm sure the fat too. But hey, if it's staying on my tummy, that'd be great. It don't, but it would be great. Anyway, that is KetoDiamond's life on day 2,253. But it'll get better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. You just gotta navigate till you get to the end of the tunnel and stop walking into so many damn walls. And hopefully, my big puppy, hopefully he'll get better. Just heal completely. That would be fantastic. I'd trade all the Mini Coopers in the world for it. But it doesn't work that way. So we might just have to get a jack system and a wheel and barrel roll him out. In and out. It's a rough process, all of it right now. But again, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Of course, the rainbow's nice. We'll just stick with the tunnel, the light at the tunnel. All right, you guys. So that's my tale. That's why I've been what I've been doing. And if he's having good moments, if Jake's having good moments where he's not complaining so much, I'll try to get on here and do a video. But I understand the barking, the whining, the whimpering would be a factor for not only me trying to speak, but other people trying to understand and listen. And y'all know life is more important than videos or YouTube, so he's more important. And even though I love you guys dearly, gotta take care of the big puppy. Now let me go take care of my big youngins. Much love, many prayers. I hope you're all doing great. Positive comments only. You can have negative thoughts, but take them somewhere else. Just go away. I don't want negative. I don't care right now about negative. I need good, positive love. That's it. Nobody needs, well, it's worse for, yeah, I know. Nobody needs that. I don't need to hear it. If you got them, take them elsewhere. Go to the mirror and talk to yourself. Much love, many prayers. Bye, y'all.